All right, good morning, everybody. Good morning, Abhishek.
Hey, good morning, Rama. We have covered from the last couple of weeks, we have covered different models of cloud computing, and we covered SaaS, we covered PaaS, and we explained how the SaaS works and how the PaaS works. Today, we are going to talk about IaaS, which is known as like infrastructure as a service. It's a type of cloud service model in which computing resources are hosted in the cloud. Business can use the IaaS model for different purpose, and that's the intention to explain you about the IaaS, because most of the companies have done the investment and they don't want to waste those investment, like they have created some kind of functionality, some kind of form, some kind of reports which they cannot use with the PaaS as well as on SaaS. So that's where IaaS comes into the picture, where you can take your applications as it is on somebody's else rented environment. With this, I'm passing on to Rama, Rama Goyal, so that she can give you the brief idea about how the IaaS infrastructure as a service works. Thank you, Rama. Over to you.
Thanks, Abhishek, for kickstarting the presentation for today. So good morning, good evening, good afternoon to everyone. So today's agenda of the session is to talk about infrastructure as a service. A quick introduction about myself. My name is Rama Goyal. I'm a graduate from BITS Pilani in India, and been working in the IT industry for the last 15 plus years. Been a professional speaker at several technical and non-technical leadership conferences. I have authored several books, and one of my books was awarded the best ebooks of all times by CNN, Forbes, and INC Book Authority. I have bagged several certificates and certifications in my portfolio, which helps me inspire several students along the way to do the same and even better and excel in their careers. I have been a corporate trainer and also trained more than 1,000 people all over in different verticals of industry. I'm always someone who's on the lookout to create global opportunities for fresh interns and graduates. And that's why I'm here today, trying to build my teams for cloud technologies and data analytics. You just heard Abhishek Saxena. He is a YCCI in Nagpur alumni with more than 20 years of experience working with Oracle Corporation and also on Oracle technologies. He has profound expertise in cloud and on-prem solutions of not only Oracle, but also other cloud providers like Amazon, Google, and Microsoft. He is an Oracle certified master professional in cloud, which is a certification which is not bagged by many in this industry so far. He's a technical speaker at several conferences, and right now the conferences are all remote, but we wish, and soon we'll get back to our normal mode of meeting and greeting everybody at the technical conferences. Abhishek is always on the lookout to help people and customers in the journey to the cloud, and also young graduates to achieve their dreams. With that, let's get into the IaaS basics, which is infrastructure as a service. All right, so we looked at several cloud computing service models, and we looked at how on-prem works, how SaaS works, how PaaS, and now today is the time to talk about IaaS. So looking at the solutions, right? So when we looked at the stacks of service models in SaaS, everything is, lot of functionality is owned and controlled by the service provider, cloud service provider, whereas in case of PaaS and IaaS, responsibilities are shared between the cloud provider and the cloud consumer. Right, so having looked at PaaS, which tells you that everything under the OS is owned by the cloud provider, and everything above that, application and data, is owned by yourself. Right. In case of IaaS, it is even, as the name suggests, it's even more shared responsibility between the cloud provider and the cloud consumer. Okay. So in case of infrastructure as a service, as the name suggests, it's the infrastructure which is provided to you as a service, as against the entire stack. Okay. So What you see over here in this screen in the IaaS block is that virtualization, servers, storage, and networking is provided by the service provider, while application, data, runtime, integration services, and operating server system is what is owned by the service consumer. All right. Any questions so far? Okay. Moving on to the details of infrastructure as a service. Infrastructure as a service is a type of cloud service model in which computing resources are hosted in the cloud, right? So it's all about compute. The data center infrastructure is hosted on the cloud, owned and managed by the cloud provider, including compute, network, and storage hardware, as well as other components and software. Okay. In an IaaS model, the cloud provider owns and operates the hardware and software and also owns and leases the data center. So remember in the previous sessions how we talked about what is the synergies, what is the benefit of having a cloud model in place itself, right? So to begin with, it was all about optimization of costs. It was about business innovation. It was about reducing the risk. So how do you reduce your expenses? How do you increase your income? And how do you still stay safe and risk-free, right? So everything, every cloud service model revolves around those three tenets. Okay, so in case of an infrastructure as a service, you have a huge opportunity to save by shelving and by outsourcing the most heaviest component of your cloud, which is the data center, right? So you don't have to worry about procuring land, leasing land, getting huge servers, networking, cabling, cooling, power, UPS, nothing. All that is taken care by the cloud provider. Okay, what you do as a consumer is you will pay the rent for those resources, right? And most of the cloud providers provide these services on a pay-as-you-go model. Okay. Any questions so far? All right, good. Moving on to the next slide, which is about advantages of IaaS. All right, so one first big advantage is something that we already talked about was reducing expenses, right? Where you don't have to buy, manage, and maintain your infrastructure, and you only pay for what you use. Pay as you go has been a big feature of cloud services, right? So even if you take your expenses over a 5-year or a longer depreciation period, right? You are saving a huge amount of money by moving to IaaS and outsourcing your cloud to someone else. Okay. Next is to improve business continuity, higher degree of uptime, more disaster recovery options than on-premise deployments. Okay. And Abhishek, may I request you to spend some time on how do you have more disaster recovery options in IaaS as compared to on-prem?
Yeah, in fact, like, the companies like Oracle, for disaster recovery kind of thing, they follow the 3-2-1 rule. Means like take the backup 3 times, keep it on the 2 storage devices, and one of them should be offsite. So Oracle generally maintain one active region, and they have 3 fault domains everywhere, wherever the data center, either it's a Ashburn or either it's a Phoenix. Oracle is stored 3 places your data. So in case of disaster recovery, you can always, your system will be up and running anytime because all the 3 fault domain places your data will be available. But if you still want to go for the business continuity plan or disaster recovery, the best way forward is you should make your primary site on one data center, maybe which can be an Ashburn, and you should make cross-region disaster recovery site, which should be either in Chicago or maybe in Phoenix. So there are multiple options, especially in cloud, and I have worked for a couple of customers where we have made the data center, the primary data center is in US and the secondary data center is in London. Is it clear?
Okay. Thank you, Abhishek. Moving on to the next one, which is about accelerating innovation. All right, so let's spend a little while, right? When we talk about innovation, a lot of times we are thinking about high-end technologies only, right? Innovation is possible even at your home. Innovation is possible in whatever you want to do, right? So it is all about making better from what you already have, right? So in case of IaaS, how IaaS promotes innovation is not only by taking your cloud solutions to a better technology, but also instead of having to invest, right, your dollars, your money in new infrastructure, what you get an ability is you can instead use that money and time to test and do research and development on cloud, right? So that is how it is very important when you shift your focus from mundane and activities to something more innovative. Okay, as a cloud provider is always going to strive to beat the competition, they're going to always keep giving us latest technologies, right? Many cloud providers package and deploy new hardware and software, including AI and machine learning. A lot of you want to learn NLP, and if you have a need to, please contact us. We have sessions running on NLP and AI as well, right? So it's to beat the competition, cloud providers are always going to come up with new technologies. Okay, speed provisioning. Even virtualized on-prem tasks take long to provision, but IaaS can be ready in minutes. And Abhishek, may I request you to give us an example from Oracle Cloud on how easy and quick it is to provision this OCI?
See, the best part, the best example, what I can share as of now, Zoom was running on AWS, and during this pandemic, their growth is phenomenal. So what they need to do, they need to provision the new servers quickly. And due to Amazon is a big giant, but the problem with the Amazon was they were not, means like they were charging a lot of amount, especially for the egress rule. Rama might have already explained ingress and egress rule in past, but I can again tell you, like, egress means the data, whatever data you are extracting from your database, that is known as egress side. So they were charging a lot of egress, and at the same time, they were not able to give you the provisioning much faster. Means like you have one machine with two CPUs and 15 GB of memory. If you have more customers, you need to shift, or you need to move your complete machine to new shape. When I say shape, it means new server. But in case of Oracle, it's an automatic scaling. Means you don't need to shift or move your shape to another server. Instead of that, you can auto scale there only. So that's what speed provisioning means. Like you need right now two CPUs. You can quickly increase to, like, I need 16 CPU for my month-end processing, and that will be done with a click only. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Abhishek. Moving to the next big advantage of IaaS is to focus on the core business. As I talked about accelerating innovation, right? So the more time that you have, less time you spend on mundane activities and more time you focus on your core business processes, right? Additionally, IaaS also enables organizations to leverage the benefits of DevOps and other technologies to build the infrastructure as needed for testing their solutions. Okay. Last but very important is the scalability. We've been talking about scalability example a lot in our sessions about how a room has a capacity of 50 members, but how you can, you may have 10 people at a given point of time, and you can always scale it up to 50, but 50 is a parameter that you define and keep it as your configuration, right? So piggybacking on the same example, scalability and is very easy with IaaS solutions. As Abhishek explained, what you need is what you get, and how fast you need is how fast you get it. And that's one of the big benefits of IaaS, wherein if you need to run your payloads more frequently and you need more resources to run month-end close process, for example, you can always ask for more scalable solutions from IaaS at that point of time, which is going to increase your compute power. Okay. All right, moving to the next one, which is a few of the test cases of use of IaaS. First one is ability to test and develop. DevOps can set up and take down test and development environments quickly and at a very low cost. So they can. So what happens when you're able to develop and test your solutions very quickly is that you're able to get new applications to the market faster. right? Time to the market is an important concept in business success. How quickly you're able to give your solution out to the market before others can bring the same solution is what is going to get you a turnkey niche advantage. Okay. Traditional applications, IaaS can support both on-prem, cloud, native deployments, and also traditional enterprise applications. Some of you may have experience with ERP applications. You can do a very good lift and shift of ERP solutions to the cloud. And Abhishek, may I request you to talk about lift and shift strategy of Oracle Cloud?
Yeah, lift and shift. Oracle has come up with the lift and shift methodology, or you can say like move and improve. Oracle has given the new name, move and improve. That is, which is nothing but same thing like lift and shift. The basic benefit of lift and shift and move and improve is you don't need to change. Suppose you have a system, you have created forms, which was created almost like in 2006 with the form 4.5, and still you are using it. You have not means like migrate your forms to the latest version, but you want to run those systems as it is with the IP addresses, with the DNS, with the current networking. You can take the complete system from your on-premises environment to cloud and run those application on compute, Oracle Cloud Compute. So lift means like whatever you are running with your current architecture, current infrastructure, that will be same as it is. It will be ported to Oracle Cloud. That's the meaning of lift and shift. Thank
Okay,
you.
thank you. A lot of you like to do web and mobile app development. IaaS is a great platform to not buy anything, low investments, and more development effort. All right. Storage, backup, and recovery, the very premise of what you do in infrastructure revolves all around storage, backup, and recovering those solutions in the cloud. And of course, high performance computing. All right. Okay.
I would just like to add one thing here. When we say high performance computing, HPC, these are heavy users of cloud. Like, we consider high performance computing when the customer is looking for 300 OCPU. It's a huge environment like Mercedes-Benz, Ford, Tesla. These guys are using high performance computing kind of thing. Netflix for Amazon, they are running on Amazon. So those who are looking for huge servers, 300 plus OCPUs, which will give you the massive capacity for running the compute environment, those are known as a HPC customers. Over to you, Rama.
Thank you. All right, some key IaaS terms. Today's session is going to be fairly quick and short. So we'll talk about key IaaS terms on high availability computing environment configured to provide near full-time availability, redundant hardware and software, avoid having multiple points of failure. High availability, let's talk in simple language, right? So what is high availability? Being available all the time. When your manager asks you to be available on demand for a cutover activity, right? So what your manager is essentially asking you to do is have your phone ready, have your compute ready, have your storage ready, have your computer handy with you, right? And be available on request of a call, right? So that's how IaaS also translates. It's very easy for compute to be added, right? Scalability, to be available when needed. And also in case of a problem, you can real time shift onto another hardware. So for example, you're taking a call on your cell phone right now, you can quickly switch over to computer, to your laptop, right? So that is redundancy in the hardware. Zoom is not working. We can quickly shift over to WebEx account, redundancy of software, right? Avoid having single points of failure. This is a concept which you'll hear many times in your projects, right? So one person knows it all and he becomes a single point of failure. Always your managers will ask you to have knowledge transition plans, right? So you have multiple points of failure. That is, you do not make one person or one resource be reason of contention. If everything passes through one pipe or one funnel, right? If there is one small bandwidth data pipe between two locations, right? The data flow will be in kilobytes, maybe in bytes itself, right? So it's very important for you to have multiple pipes running right? So multiple data pipes so that the data transfer can be higher. So anytime you have to rely on only one single channel, it's not good, right? So that's about high availability. Fault tolerance describes how cloud vendor will ensure minimum downtime for any of the cloud services which are provided. And disaster recovery, we've talked about disaster recovery a lot in the previous sessions. So whenever you're able to fail over and fall back to a primary site, right? So you have a problem in your primary site, there's a flood, there's a power outage, there's a natural disaster. You should be able to fail over your production systems, your applications over to another site, right? Where you can run your business as usual.
And Rama, I think you have mentioned here two very good points, RPO and RTO. Whenever you talk about the disaster recovery, you need to keep in mind, you need to take the concern of your business and you need to ask them, like, how much data you can afford to lose before it started your business or impacting your business. Suppose they say, like, I can go for 1 hour of data loss can be managed, but after that it will really start going to impact my business. That is where you can say it's a RPO, recovery point of objective. Recovery time frame, like, business gives you the time of 4 hours. You need to bring back my application within 4 hours. And if you are crossing 4 hours, it's a breach of service level agreement, SLA. Business cannot afford that RTO part. So this is the difference between RPO and RTO. Over to you, Rama.
Thanks, Abhishek. All right, so this is a slide that Abhishek loves to talk about. Availability domains.
So do you want me to go ahead, Rama?
Please.
Yeah. So this is the architecture of your cloud environment. You are seeing on the left hand side, there is a customer data center, and on cloud, it starts with region. The first black outer border is known as region, and basically regions are nothing where your data center is. As I said, like, if I want to subscribe Oracle Cloud, I will say my cloud is in the Ash1 region. So that is there, that is the outer line, and within the outer line, there are 3 availability domains. These are the data center located within the region and isolated definitely from each other, but they are fairly connected with the thick cables, and they provide you the kind of latency, or means like they provide you the kind of bandwidth you are looking for with low latency. And that's where, and these two, customer data center and the cloud data center, they are connecting with the fast connect. Fast connect is a dedicated pipe provided by the AT&T, Equinix, or any cellular company, which they can make the pipe connection from your data center to Oracle data center. And with that fast connect, you can transfer or retrieve the data at a speed of 1 gigabyte per second or 10 gigabyte per second. This is a very fundamental concept for fast connect, which you need to pay for this. But there is a free concept, means like there is a utility called VPN IPsec tunnel, which comes free of cost with whenever you provision the cloud environment. But the disadvantage with the VPN is it provides you 256 Mbps per second. So if you have a data of, like, 1.5 terabyte, or you want to say, Abhishek, I have 1.5 petabyte. So I need to transfer from my data center to Oracle Cloud. I would say go for the fast connect with 10 Gbps per second, and you can transfer your data within like 3 hours. So that's what we have explained. Within that availability domain, we have created virtual cloud network, which is going across the availability domain. And within the virtual cloud network, we have created particular subnets. Subnets is like a part of cloud network. So, and apart from that, we have shown, like, security list, how your system will be accessed from outside. And then these two things, fast connect and cloud center, will be connected. Their internet traffic will be managed by the DRG, DRG is nothing but a dynamic routing gateway. Over to you, Rama.
Sure. Any questions here? All right. So that covers the key terms related to infrastructure as a service. If there are no questions, we can, this was a great session, short, quick, short and sweet IaaS session. If you want to learn more about us, please visit the website, GotoFastLane.ca. You can register for our events on LinkedIn as well. Our LinkedIn tag is also GoToFastLane. So please go ahead and follow us on LinkedIn for updates of the events and what technologies and projects we are working on right now. Usually offer this to all the attendees. If you're watching remotely, please talk to us before you use this title of Associate Technical Ambassador on your LinkedIn account, right? But all the attendees whom we approve can go ahead and use this as to increase their networking and employment opportunities. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Our YouTube videos are usually very favorite. We get more than 10,000, 15,000, 20,000 likes for all the videos. So I'm sure the content is helping many other young graduates. It will help you as well. So please subscribe and ask your friends and family to subscribe as well and reap the benefits. If you want, you can join our WhatsApp group. We post some quick, short technical tidbits and questions on the WhatsApp group. And if you want to write and learn more about us, please write to us at info@gotofastlane.ca.
I think we are good to close. Thank you, Rama, for the nice presentation. And we can connect back again on next Saturday, right?
It's correct. Thank you so much, Abhishek. All right, all the students, enjoy learning, keep going to the fast lane, because that's what you want to do with your careers. Thank you.
Thank you.